How do you feel about finishing second in the latest straw poll?
It's better than finishing third. No, the good thing is that Mike Pence, who won, is one of the greatest guys I know, and I love Mike. He's one of my favorite members of Congress, one of the few members of Congress I'd like to see stay. There's a whole bunch of them I hope pack up and have to load stuff come December. But Mike Pence is truly one of the good guys. He's a man of great conviction. He has been consistent in his message and in his life, and I'm thrilled that he was the one who was able to capture the vote.
Were you surprised though?
No, not really. I mean, I really wasn't paying attention that much to it, and I went down Friday morning, did my thing, and left because I had to be back in New York for my show. But straw polls are just that. They're straw polls, and I've won some, I've lost some. You always are happy to win them. You try to downplay that. If you lose them, you downplay that. So there you go.
Do you plan on running for president?
Where do you go here in the future?
I don't know. I mean, right now I'm really focused, and I was in 9 states this week alone, campaigning all over America for good people, running for Congress and Senate and running for the governorship, and I'll be continuing to do that through Election Day. Because I think the most important election is not the ones 2 years away, it's this one. Because no matter who the president is, if we can see a turnover in Congress, there's a backstop to the radical left-wing agenda that's being hoisted on the American people. Obamacare happened because even the Democrats who claimed to be conservative caved in when it got down to it. That's why we need a Beth Ann Rankin in the 4th District. It's why we need Rick Crawford in the 1st. It's why we need to make sure that, in the 2nd District, Tim Griffin wins. And in the 3rd District, that's the one district we probably have an advantage in. But there's a shot that all 4 congressional districts could go Republican. Just think, if that had already happened, we wouldn't be bailing out banks and spending ridiculous amounts of money for stimulus that all it did was create greater levels of unemployment. The most ridiculous thing this last week, $111 million in Los Angeles for stimulus to create jobs. It created 55 jobs. That's over $2 million a job created. You'd be better off giving those 55 people a $2 million check and they never have to work again a day in their life. So this is the absurdity of this ridiculous administration, and I can't imagine that Americans, whatever their political affiliation, aren't tired of it. And the best way to end it is to pull the Republican lever this fall.
How do you think the Tea Party is going to throw a wrench in there? I know that in Delaware particularly, they did not back the Tea Party candidate, and then she won the nominee.
Well, but I think the Tea Party has been the greatest thing that's happened in American politics this year, maybe in decades. Because what it's reminded people is that their vote, their voice makes a difference and it matters. And whether it's Joe Miller in Alaska, or whether it's Christine O'Donnell in Delaware, or Rand Paul in Kentucky, or Sharon Angle in Nevada, the good news is these are people who are being elected because of their convictions and their message, which says enough craziness in the government, enough takeover and bailouts and subsidizing the reckless irresponsibility. That's a good thing. And I think the Republican establishment in D.C. is getting spanked and deserves it. Frankly, I'm thrilled that they're getting a little kicking in the backside over the races like in Delaware, because there has been this elitist and pompous, contemptuous attitude toward a lot of the grassroots. One thing I think that's happening in Arkansas that's very positive is that you see a lot of these candidates running on the Republican ticket who are completely supported by many of the Tea Party leaders, and why shouldn't they be? Because they aren't going to become part of the institution, they're really going to shake it up and change it.
Do you think she run for president in 2012?
On the Democratic side or the Republican side? Yeah, I'm going to let that shake out in its own time, because there's plenty of time for that to be determined. But as I said earlier, I want to see this election cycle finish up first before we start talking about it, because this is the one that matters most right now. And if we get a great turnover in the Congress, and by the way, I think we can win both the House and the Senate back, not just the House, which a lot of people, I think, see that happening. Then no matter what Obama wants to do, he's not going to be able to get it done, because he's not going to have a Congress that's laying over for him like this one. But that's why we've got to get a new Congress, starting with the congressional members in Arkansas. And let's see a real turnover here. Then we'll see it in the country.